Back when I was 19, I worked the graveyard shift at a small-town grocery store called Mayfield Market. It wasn't a glamorous job, stocking shelves, cleaning floors, and keeping the registers open for the occasional late-night customer. Most nights were dead quiet. We'd get a few truckers, insomniacs, or college kids grabbing snacks, but otherwise it was me, the hum of the refrigerators, and the buzzing fluorescent lights. I used to think the worst part was the boredom. I was wrong. It was a Thursday, around 2:15 a.m., when the automatic doors slid open and nobody came in. At least, that's what I thought. I heard the sensor beep, clear as day. But when I looked, the entrance was empty. I shook it off as a glitch. The store was old, the doors stuck sometimes. But when I went back to stocking the cereal aisle, I heard footsteps. Not faint, not creaky, just the sound of someone walking deliberately down the next aisle over. Hello? I walked over, expecting some customer messing around. The aisle was empty. That's when the PA system crackled. Normally we only used it for shift announcements, but a voice came through, low, distorted, almost like it was whispering directly into the microphone. Stock faster. I froze. My manager Carl was asleep in the office. No one else should have had access to the system. I jogged to the office, but Carl was still slumped in his chair, snoring, TV playing quietly in the background. The PA handset was on the hook. My skin crawled. I went back to my cart and tried to focus. Just nerves, I told myself. The store always felt weird at night, but then I noticed something off. Every box of cereal I'd just stacked was turned backward. Not fallen, not knocked over, just turned so the blank cardboard backs faced out. I hadn't done that. That was when I heard the footsteps again, this time heavier, faster. They circled the aisle I was in, moving around me, but never entering. My chest tightened. It felt like being stalked. I grabbed my box cutter, holding it like a weapon. Then the lights flickered, not once, but in a stuttering pattern. 3 quick flashes, pause, then 2 more, like Morse code. When the lights came back steady, there was a man standing at the end of the aisle, tall, thin, wearing a store apron, but it wasn't one of our employees. His apron was the old design, the kind we hadn't used since the store was rebranded years before I started. And his face, it didn't look right. His features were blurred, like a bad photo, but his eyes were sharp, dark pits that locked on me. I blinked, and he was gone. I ran to the front of the store, ready to call the cops, but the phones were dead, not even a dial tone. The security cameras were on, but the monitors showed static. That's when the doors slid open again. This time, someone walked in, a woman. She looked normal at first, mid-30s, messy hair, tired eyes. She pushed a cart slowly, the wheels squeaking. I forced a nervous laugh, relieved to see an actual customer. "Late night shopping, huh?" I said. She didn't respond. She just pushed the cart past me. But the cart was empty. No purse, no phone, no groceries. She walked every aisle, the cart rattling, her face blank. Finally, she stopped in the frozen food section, staring into one of the freezers. I followed, keeping my distance. The freezer she stood in front of was empty, completely cleaned out. No shelves, no glass, just a black void. I blinked and the woman was gone. The cart was still there though, and inside it was something new. My name tag, not the one I was wearing, an old one, scratched and dirty, with my name in faded letters. I didn't think, I just bolted for the office, shook Carl awake, and begged him to lock up. He laughed it off, thought I was messing with him, until he saw the name tag in my hand. His face went pale. "Where did you get that?" he asked. I told him. He didn't say a word, just grabbed his keys and drove me home. The next day, I quit. A week later, I saw in the news that Mayfield Market had caught fire overnight. No one was inside, but the building was gutted. Investigators couldn't figure out how it started. Carl called me once after. Drunk, slurring his words, he said, "That store, it's older than you think. People don't leave, they just shift." I hung up and never answered again. Sometimes I drive past the burned out lot. The foundation is still there, weeds growing through the cracks. But every so often, when I glance at the remains, I swear I see the automatic doors sliding open, and in the reflection of the broken glass, I see myself stocking shelves that don't exist anymore,